All right. Well, the negative headlines swirling around Hillary Clinton appear to be taking a toll, with her favorability rankings sinking to near record lows, according to a new survey. Now, some of her top campaign donors are reportedly getting a little rattled by her response to her email scandal and the sight of her inner circle marching before Congress to testify. So how can she reassure her supporters? Let's bring in Karl Rove, who served as senior advisor and deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush, also a Fox News contributor, of course. Karl, welcome.
Thanks, Molly.
Karl, you're someone who definitely knows how to run a campaign. Meanwhile, you were watching Hillary Clinton's campaign try to move forward, and there's been this drip, drip, drip. Is it possible to move forward with so much weighing over?
Yeah, well, look, the mistakes have been made not simply in setting up the private server, but handling the news of it once it became public. You know, for 7 months we've been given a series of deliberately or unintentionally misleading statements by the campaign that have turned out not to be true. So for 7 months she's been saying, offering up defenses that then get knocked down by the facts. So they're in a rough place, but they're in a rough place in large part because she set up the private server, and then when it became public that there was a private server, she and her campaign have mishandled this every step of the way. And it's not going to get any better soon. We have the spectacle of her IT advisor taking the Fifth Amendment, and as you said, we have some of her aides appearing on Capitol Hill for testimony, and then we'll have a big moment in October where she'll be called before the Benghazi Committee. And between now and then, there is little they can do except try and shoulder on, put your head down, and punch on through.
Yeah, the FBI is looking at the server. The Clinton campaign's been getting questions about the server, and the responses have been kind of interesting. Brian Fallon, one of her spokesmen, just said he doesn't know what wiped means. When she was directly asked by Ed Henry if she wiped her server, she said, like with a cloth or something? I mean, what's your reaction to the way they're answering this question about wiping this server?
Well, if Brian Fallon doesn't know what wiping a server is, then he ought not to be in that job, because this is an issue that was raised with her flip comment to Ed Henry that drew national derision. Of course they know what it means to wipe a server. And for him to sit there and say, I don't know what it means that he is either a complete idiot or he thinks that he can simply mislead people. This is why it just boggles my mind. Why not simply say, of course I know what it means to wipe a server, and we did, we took whatever necessary steps. Look, every explanation they give is not accurate. Take the one yesterday. They said that Secretary Clinton knew right from the beginning that this was allowable. Well, you know what? I find that mind-boggling. What person in the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of State did Hillary Clinton or one of her top aides talk to in order to get permission to do this? And we've never had that question asked, and we've never certainly had it answered. But she raised it yesterday, her spokesman did, by saying she knew right from the beginning this was permissible. Who told her it was permissible? I can't think of a single lawyer in government who would say, yes, you're the Secretary of State handling highly classified information, and you can have all that email traffic on a server that's first in your basement and then in the broom closet next to the laboratory of a company in Denver. I can't think of a single lawyer who would have allowed that. Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions as the investigation moves forward. But now we're getting word that folks in her circle are reaching out to Democrats, to supporters, to donors, and saying, hey, don't give up. We are still in this. There's still a possibility to win. But has she lost that inevitability? And does this reaching out help? Are these one-on-one relationships with supporters going to keep them around? Yeah, look, it reaching out will, holding hands, which takes a lot of time in any presidential campaign. Even when you're going well, you're going to have nervous Nellies who say, I've got an idea about how you can do this better. It's an important function in campaign, and it will help her. But look, her inevitability is less a factor of how strong her candidacy is or how strong she is as a campaigner. She's a weak campaigner, and her campaign has been lackluster. Her inevitability depends upon two things. One is the rest of the field. I mean, does anybody think Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, Jim Webb are credible opponents? They just aren't. Joe Biden may shake it up some, but the second thing is that the calendar does benefit her. She's likely to lose Iowa and New Hampshire, as I said in my column yesterday in the Wall Street Journal, but then the calendar turns to places where she ran well in 2008 against Barack Obama, or where if somebody's going to take her on, they're going to have to do very, very well well among Southern African American Democratic leaders, which she's cultivated intensely over the last couple of years. So, this is a difficult situation for her.
All right, Karl Rove, thank you so much for your insights on the latest with the Clinton camp. Appreciate it.
Happy Labor Day, Molly.
Happy Labor Day to you.